It is 8:33 in the morning on your Monday, September 23rd. A little rainy outside, but it's all sunshiny in the KNED studios here on Electric Avenue for another edition of Running with the Herd, which is brought to you by What About Bob's Restaurant, Reagan Auto, and Chick-fil-A McAlester. This is the voice of the Buffaloes, Brandon Green, alongside McAlester Athletic Director James Singleton, which is awesome to have you over here. Usually we'd have you here a lot sooner than what we're having you here right now because we're going to be speaking about the beginning of the sports season here. But also because we had to interview every single fall sports coach so far. We've officially gone through all of them, right. And it's been a great time, by the way, doing that. And now we get to finally have a break in the action to where we can speak with you. So, Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. Excited to be here. It's been a long time, Brandon, but really looking forward to it.
It has been. Can you bring that mic just a little bit closer? Yeah, no problem. But since we're speaking about the beginning of the 2024-2025 season, how's that gone so far?
It's going really well. You know, I tell you what, we've been having to battle the heat a little bit with our outside sports, but I think they got a cold front last night, so everything's going to kind of chill out a little bit. But, of course, you know, the big news this past weekend, this is the first year in a long time we've done competitive cheer, and those guys qualified for state, so they'll be at state cheer competition this Saturday at Tulsa Union. We're waiting on our competition time. They haven't released that yet, so we're really excited about that. Of course, you know, football finished up non-district play. They went 2-1, had a big win against the Cougars.
Mm-hmm. Always a good day when you can beat Ada.
Always a good day when you can beat the Cougars. And then, of course, we go to Coweta this week for first district ball game. Volleyball is currently ranked 15th. Coach Burns scheduled a brutal schedule. I don't know how many ranked teams we played, but our volleyball girls are very, very battle tested. We got a big event Tuesday night versus Edison as they get ready and get prepped for regionals. That's coming up here pretty quick. Of course, Palm's getting going. Now, their competition stuff really doesn't crank up a little bit until the end of October with game day, and then they'll go into their OSDTDA stuff in December. And then, of course, softball. You know, softball's a pretty unique roster this year. You know, we have 4 seniors. We don't have any juniors, and then we have sophomores and freshmen. So going through some growing pains, but we had our first big district win last week at Shawnee. So hopefully we're going to catch fire at the right time as they get ready for regionals as well.
And that's a bounce back win too, because Shawnee beat us. I believe it was 9-0 when we were here, when they were here a couple of 4 or 5 weeks ago. Now there's been a lot of new things also for McAlester Athletics. Beginning with every single year we have someone and a couple of people new inducted into the McAlester Athletics Hall of Fame. So how was the Hall of Fame night for Hook Eels and Robin Strickland Hoffman?
The Hall of Fame was great. We've got 2 really, really good ones that came in. Of course, you know, getting Coach Eels in, I think that was something that was very, very important to a lot of people in our community. And then, of course, Miss Hoffman, I mean, just her, no pun intended, but her track record was just phenomenal as far as, you know, everything that she did and all of her accomplishments. And, of course, having our student athletes come out and talk to those families and just see, you know, when you commit yourself to a purpose and of course, it takes a village. But I feel like as an athletic department, we have a great support system for all of our student athletes. If a kiddo wants to go be successful, and we can provide the resources for them to do that, and then they can go accomplish great things in athletics and then later on in life.
Now, you mentioned McAlester softball. They've also done a couple of really cool community-engaged nights. They had the Teacher Appreciation Night, also First Responder Appreciation Night. How neat was that from the athletic director standpoint for McAlester softball to hold events like that?
Well, anytime you can connect with your community, obviously that's a great thing. I tell all of our coaches and I tell our student athletes, you know, I've coached in some some pretty athletic minded communities, you know, as far as not just athletics but just extracurriculars in general, everything, you know, and McAlester is second to none as far as supporting all of our extracurricular activities, whether it's financially, whether it's through donations, whether it's, you know, any other type of way that they need support. Our community always steps up and supports those guys. So it's great for us to always have an opportunity to give back.
And also something new that I've noticed on your socials, senior spotlights have been really cool that we've added this year. So tell us a little bit about what people can look out for when it comes to senior spotlights each week for McAlester Athletics.
Well, you know, like I said, we feel like it's really, really important to recognize those guys. Those guys, most of them have put in, you know, 3 or 4 years, you know, with either within their sport or multiple sports, and giving those guys an opportunity to recognize them, you know, to our community for their accomplishments and what their goals are and future plans. You know, we want these guys to go off and be great, but then come back home. It
Right.
just makes our community more rich, makes it more vibrant, and the more stakeholders you have in the community that are invested and want your community to be successful, I mean, that's a great thing.
So for anyone wanting to go to a McAlester Athletic event, maybe it's been a little bit, maybe they moved back to McAlester from a different place, like, for example, Chase McNutt now is back here at McAlester with the McAlester radio staff. If he was just wanting to go to a game and hasn't been to one in a while, what is the bag policy like for McAlester Athletics so that they can, because I think this would be a good opportunity to be able to describe it now here
Sure.
on the show.
Absolutely. Well, we institute a clear bag policy. Obviously our emphasis, some other things that we've started within our district, we have our own police force now. Security is a big emphasis with Dr. Stever. And of course, at all of our athletic events, that's something that's very, very important. And but we've instituted a clear bag policy, and again, it's for the safety of everybody.
Right.
We're not trying to make it difficult to come into our athletic events, but at the same time, we want everybody to have an opportunity to be safe, enjoy our athletic events. So that's why we went with that.
Awesome, and I completely agree. So we spoke about your socials. We'll ask this one last thing, I guess, before we go on to the next break here. But if people want to be more in touch with McAlester Athletics to see what's going on in McAlester Athletics' world, how can they do that?
Well, obviously, first and foremost, if you'll follow us on our Facebook page, McAlester Athletics, and of course also on X, McAlester Athletics as well.
That's Twitter.
Yes. I'm trying to evolve as well.
It is X, but it's always going to be Twitter in my heart.
And we're really trying to get our Instagram page going as well. We've got that going. Still working on that. I have Maddie Homer. She's helping me out with Mach 4, and really just trying to get that going. We're trying to get as much information as we possibly can. Of course, our administrators do a great job with pushing out information through the reminds, through the high school and the middle school. And of course, at the end of the day, just call the office.
Mm-hmm.
Come by the office. We'll be more than happy to get you all the information that you need.
And that's over there inside of Bob Brumley Gymnasium.
Bob Brumley Gymnasium, yes. Southwest door. Yes.
There you go. So, all right, we're going to take a little bit of a break here. Again, this is Running with the Herd, a weekly McAlester Athletics Coaches Show, and we're here with Athletic Director James Singleton. We'll be back in just a moment on KNED.
Looking for a trustworthy automotive shop? Come see our technicians at Reagan Auto. Our trusted technicians work hard to get your vehicle needs taken care of in a timely manner. Here at Reagan Auto, we provide oil changes, tires, alignments, along with transmissions and engines. Stop by and see us at Reagan Auto at 306 East Wyandotte in McAlester to get a quote, or simply call 918-715-3236. That's 918-715-3236.
What About Bob's Restaurant, the home of Bob's Sunrise Surprise, is located at 610 North Main in McAlester. What About Bob serves up your favorite comfort food 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Go down and see Olivia and the gang for breakfast and lunch. What About Bob's Restaurant, open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check them out on their Facebook page, What About Bob's, 610 North Main in McAlester.
Chick-fil-A is a proud sponsor of Running with the Herd. When it's time to feed your herd, bring them to Chick-fil-A McAlester, voted McAllister's #1 fast food restaurant for the second straight year. Whether you are dining in, coming through the drive-thru, door dashing, or letting us cater your special event, we are ready to serve you. It is always our pleasure. Chick-fil-A McAlester. Go Buffs!
8:42 in the morning here on your Monday, September 23rd. This is Running with the Herd once again. I believe episode 9. I'm losing track of the episodes here. We're going to do this every week, with the exception of a few weeks here and there. For example, fall break week. I know it's going to be a shortened week for McAlester Athletics, so we're going to take that Monday off as well before we get back into action the following week. Maybe have some post-season type coach shows coming up in the next couple of weeks, maybe speaking back with volleyball and Coach Chris Burns, and also as they approach the postseason as well, we'll speak with Coach Holly Jernigan again. But it is 8:43 in the morning. We're here with McAlester Athletic Director James Singleton, here for Running with the Herd, brought to you by What About Bob's, Reagan Auto, and Chick-fil-A McAlester. So it's been a little bit since you and I have been able to be in this type of capacity. I've spoken with you on plenty of media days before, but we only get like 3 or 4 minutes to speak about the state of what's going on in McAlester Athletics.
Right.
So let's speak a little bit about Coach James Singleton.
Okay.
So starting off with this one, Coach, you're now in your third year as the athletic director of McAlester. What was the journey like getting that job, and what it's been like in the new title here for you over the last couple of years?
Well, I tell you, it is a unique job. You always talk about it as a coach, you always wear many hats. As athletic director, you wear many hats.
Is it like going into lids at the mall?
Yes, absolutely, yes. And it's everything from the financial aspect to going to the grocery store to get hot dog buns. I mean, it's a little bit everywhere, but I enjoy it. Obviously having the opportunity, going into administration and getting back into the athletic world. People that do this want to impact kids. So I do it from an indirect standpoint, not nearly as direct, but my primary focus is to be able to provide what our kids need in order to be successful. Whether it's gear, whether it's uniforms, whether it's trying to come up with some nutrition plans. Obviously we've started our strength and conditioning program, and we've got that going. And this year, we've worked it now to where the primary emphasis obviously is during the season is maintenance and rehabilitation. Mm-hmm. And I think that's been a big deal as far as flexibility training, keeping kids in more of a maintenance type setup for kids that are in-season athletes, and then of course our out-of-season athletes, getting those guys strong and getting them ready to go. But it's been quite a journey. Of course, obviously, we were just talking about my right-hand woman, Mary Martin. I mean, mm-hmm. She's been doing this. I'm her third athletic director, and she's always very, very insightful and suggestive on things that we need to do. And she's right 99.99999% of the time. So
you just like being right that 0.000001.
Yes. So, but no, it's been a journey. It's long hours. It's just like being a coach, but now you're just coaching year round. But I enjoy it. Having an opportunity to provide and support for our student athletes is something that I really enjoy.
This is kind of like a follow-up question, but since now you've got your feet wet for the last couple of years, I wouldn't say it's wet. You're fully in now. Any advice for new athletic directors?
Well, I tell you, it's funny that you mentioned that, and it's there's always coaches clinics, there's always teacher PD, but there really has never been athletic director professional development. And so I actually stumbled upon another athletic director, Jason Kohler. He's the associate AD at Jinx. And when I first jumped into this, I just reached out to him, and he said, you need to join what's called the NIAAA. The acronym, I got to think about it, but Athletic Administrator Association. So I've joined that. Of course, now we have a state association, and like anything else, when I do something, I'm all in. So we have now started the Southeastern Oklahoma Athletic Directors Association, which I started, and we have a meeting this Wednesday.
You already talked about all the hats you're wearing, and you added another one.
That's what my wife says. She goes, "You keep adding them, you should be delegating better." And I don't do a very good job.
I don't either.
But just being able to reach out and communicate with other athletic directors, because every community is different, every demographic's different. For example, like with the situation with Choctaw last year, there was a lot of athletic director communication as far as what are the plans moving forward, and just providing continuity between events. But just reaching out to guys, one of the things that I got from the athletic director, Emily Barkley at Union, they started a student athlete leadership team. And that's something that we're starting this year. We're a little slow in getting it off the ground. But we had each of our coaches nominate 2 or 3 kids from their sport. And they're going to be on what we call SALT, our student athlete leadership team. And myself and then Coach Maddox, as well as our head coaches, are going to help spearhead this project and just teach and instruct. We have a curriculum as far as just leadership qualities to try to grow leaders within our athletic department. It's almost like Athletic Student Council. But we also want to be able to do some community outreach projects, things of that nature. Also be able to get information out to our student athletes by, getting information to those SALT leaders, and then they get it out to their kids and out to their teammates, and just get information out and have opportunities to do some community outreach and give back with those guys as well.
That's going to better prepare them for the future too, going into college, having that kind of leadership role.
Absolutely.
What are some hobbies that Coach Singleton has?
When I have time.
When you have time.
Well, I tell you, it's been a unique summer. We, my wife and I, of course, we're empty nesters. Our kids are spread out. We've got one in Colorado Springs. We have one in New Orleans. The youngling is still in Norman. So we're when we've got free time, we're traveling to go see those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Try to find some lake time, yard work when I can. Of course, the family, myself and my wife, had an injury-riddled summer, so we were pretty limited on what we could do this summer. But
what's the update on that? What's the injury status for
the injury
Singleton
report?
and
Well,
wife?
we were able to go see our local orthopedic on Friday, and he took care of me with the knee. And I went to a local chiropractor, and he got me set up on the back Friday. So I'm feeling a lot better. I'm on the up and up. My wife, she had a detached retina. Don't know how that happened, but it happened. So yeah, the entire month of July was not good. It was like a mass unit at the Singleton household in July.
So you're day to day, right?
Yes, day to day. As long as I got some coffee, I'm in good shape.
There we go. Now, you mentioned your family a little bit there. Talk a little bit about your support system. This is your chance to brag on them a little bit.
Well, my oldest son, of course, the Buffaloes didn't get to see him. He was a starting quarterback at Fort Gibson before we moved here. But he is in the U.S. Space Force, stationed in Colorado Springs, and he's married to my daughter-in-law, Lauren. And, of course, he's getting ready to go to officer training school in spring, so he's really excited about that.
Cool deal.
And then Bryce is a Buffalo graduate. He is in New Orleans, and he is actually going back to school because he wants to be a physical therapist, and he is engaged to be married to one Hannah Gard, meteorologist in New Orleans. So we've got a January destination wedding for him.
Oh, wow.
In the Dominican Republic. So we'll have to have her tan in January.
There you go. So if have you ever seen that movie Christmas with the Cranks?
Yes.
And yet, what is it? What's his name? The actor.
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen. Yeah.
Tim Allen. Yes.
Tim Allen. Yeah. It's going to be a tan like that.
Yeah.
Just one day you're going to walk into the Mac and
have the spray tan on, ready to go.
There you go.
And then Parker, he's finishing up at OU, and he got the coaching bug. So he is coaching at Norman North, coaching defensive line, and loving it.
Cool deal.
He is ate up with it. So pretty proud of all three of them. Like I said, all three of them are in the military. They're serving our country. Bryce and Parker are in the U.S. Army National Guard, and then, like I said, JR's in Space Force. And if you'd have asked me if they would have all three been in, I would have said not happened, and they all went to boot camp the same calendar year during COVID. So it was a really, really unique situation. So
we all salute them or not just salute them, but thank them for their service.
Yeah.
So
well, we're pretty proud of them.
What are some of your favorite sports moments of all time? It could be as a player, fan, coach, administrator, whatever.
Oh man, boy. Well, we've had some. Boy, there's just so many of them. It's hard to kind of pinpoint.
I know, that's why I said I couldn't pick one.
Yes.
So just if you can start rattling them, and then we'll.
Yes, of course we had some here. The triple overtime game at Shawnee was one that always sticks in my mind here.
Played against Creed Humphrey that year, right?
Yes. We decided just to cut him the whole game, and it seemed to work out. Big, that was a big game. Of course, we had a big game here in 2017 against Coweta. We were a little undermanned during that game, and we were able to pull that one out. Unfortunately, in the coaching world, it's the losses that stick with you more than the wins. And then, of course, at Sallisaw, we had 2 runs of state championship. Great memories there. Muskogee, going up and beating Broken Arrow. When my mentor, Coach Lancaster, Ron Lancaster, who I used to coach with the Sallisaw, was coaching at Broken Arrow at the time. That was a big win. And then, of course, at Fort Gibson, having the opportunity to turn that program around and have a lot of success there with those guys. A lot of great memories there as well. So a lot of positives. Like I said, you always want to try to lean on those positives as much as you can. But like I said, most coaches, unfortunately, it's the L's that sting you more with the woulda, shoulda, couldas.
I think you need to have some NFL coaches reach out to you to teach them how to beat Creed Humphrey. It seems like because it's not a very easy thing to do.
He is about as elite as they possibly come.
I'm sure that you're happy that he went to OU, being a big OU fan.
Yes. Of course, lots of OU memories. Those are our family's been big OU fans. One of my it's indirectly football related. My aunt, I got to witness my aunt break her foot as she decided to kick the ball with Uwe von Schaumann's simultaneously at Ohio State.
Wow.
Yes, her extra swinging of the foot, which hit the table, which broke her foot to win the game. That's probably one of my most memorable
Hold
OU games.
up. You got to break that down because
Yes.
that's one of the biggest kicks in OU history.
So we're at my nanny's and we're watching the game. Of course, my family are big OU fans. My grandmother's was always hot diggity dog when we scored a touchdown. And, of course, she had a love-hate relationship with Barry Switzer. Of course, everybody did back then because they'd have 9 turnovers and then come back and win. It was just impossible. But, yeah, they, Uwe lined up, and he's pumping the crowd up there. And then they both wind up simultaneously, and the kick's in the air, and then we hear a scream. And I'm trying to put one eye on my aunt, one eye on the TV to see if it goes through. And it goes through, and we're all screaming, and she's laying on the ground. And we had to take her to the hospital. She broke her foot.
I was wanted to ask which one happened first, the cheer or the "Are you okay"?
Well, it was everybody was more in tune with the TV than they were with the foot. It
seemed like she was too.
Yes,
so
yes. Well, like anything else, it's funny until you find out it was really broken.
Right.
You're like, ooh, sorry.
Yeah.
But, yes.
It's a funny story now, but at the time wasn't very funny.
Yes.
And this kind of leads me into our final question here. Just a fun question. It has nothing to do with McAlester Athletics. OU and OSU fans are both wondering, how do you fix the offenses? Coach?
Boy, I tell you what, the world with the NIL has dramatically changed college football, and of course, OU lost some linemen last year. They did a great job in the portal last year, and this year they just missed on it. But but OU, it's like a mash unit up there right now as far as injuries. I don't know what the answer. I mean, of course, everybody watched the game Saturday night. The escapability that Hawkins has, unfortunately, is a positive that makes your line look a little bit better.
We were talking about that too.
But they'll get it figured out. Seth, he's the old Muskogee boy. He'll get it figured out. And of course, at OSU, it was just kind of the same thing. And they've got a veteran unit up front. So.
It's crazy that they're having them simultaneously. It felt like I was watching the same game, even with the same score at one point, 22-3.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But they got some time to figure it out.
Seems like both teams always usually do.
Yes. Of course, on the OU side, going to Auburn, that'll be a challenge just because it's Auburn. Then they get a little bye week, and then we go to Dallas, and we'll see what happens. So, yeah,
you gonna be there?
Well, so funny you mentioned that. So Bryce, I can tell you, he's getting married in January. We're going to have a wedding shower watch party in Dallas. So Coach Singleton will not be attending the game this year,
right?
But we will be watching it. So. She has a lot of family that lives in Texas, and of course most of our family obviously is here in Oklahoma. So we're going to meet down there and have a meet and greet and watch the game, and hopefully get this thing turned around.
Good deal. Hopefully, for all of Oklahoma's sakes, and again for the Oklahoma State Cowboys as well. I know that us as OU fans can definitely root for them a little bit more now that they're
just a little bit.
We love our Poke fans as well. That from McAlester Athletics. Hey, Coach, thank you for joining us today. Anything else you'd like to add before we speak to you in about a month or so?
Well, just first of all, I just want to thank you guys and your investment in McAlester Athletics. The addition of the streaming to our other sports, our kids see that. Hey, our game's getting streamed tonight. That's kind of cool. So, but we appreciate everything that you guys do for our student athletes and recognizing those guys. And you're an unbelievable asset, not just the athletic department, but the entire school district and our community. And I appreciate everything that you guys do for us.
It means a lot to us, and more than you could ever imagine. So thank you so much for saying that. So, Coach, we'll speak with you in about a month. Thank you so much for coming over here to the KND Studios.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Again, that's McAlester Athletic Director James Singleton here on Running with the Herd. We will be back again, I believe, next week, and we'll give you an update on who that we're going to be having about Sunday on the McAlester Radio Facebook page. So, again, that was Running with the Herd, brought to you by What About Bob's, Reagan Auto, and Chick-fil-A McAlester. We'll hear from them one more time, and then we'll send you back to regular programming.
Chick-fil-A is a proud sponsor of Running with the Herd. When it's time to feed your herd, bring them to Chick-fil-A McAlester, voted McAllister's #1 fast food restaurant for the second straight year. Whether you are dining in, coming through the drive-thru, door dashing, or letting us cater your special event, we are ready to serve you. It is always our pleasure. Chick-fil-A McAlester. Go Buffs!
Looking for a trustworthy automotive shop? Come see our technicians at Reagan Auto. Our trusted technicians work hard to get your vehicle needs taken care of in a timely manner. Here at Reagan Auto, we provide oil changes, tires, alignments, along with transmissions and engines. Stop by and see us at Reagan Auto at 306 East Wyandotte in McAlester to get a quote, or simply call 918-715-3236. That's 918-715-3236.
What About Bob's Restaurant, the home of Bob's Sunrise Surprise, is located at 610 North Main in McAlester. What About Bob serves up your favorite comfort food 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Go down and see Olivia and the gang for breakfast and lunch. What About Bob's Restaurant, open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check them out on their Facebook page, What About Bob's, 610 North Main in McAlester.